Well, it is 6 o'clock, and we'd like to welcome all of you to our February 27th, 2018 Ogden City Council meeting. Appreciate all of you being here. We've got some football players to recognize today, and it's kind of an ominous sight to look out and see you all. I'm going to turn the time to Vice Chair Nadolski for the pledge. He's got a treat for us tonight.
Well, a treat for me anyway. Thank you, Chair Heyer. If the chambers will indulge me while I invite my daughters up, Hazel and Millie Nadolski. They're going to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Will everybody please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Hazel and Billy. It was very nice. If you would now join the council for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, the first item on our agenda tonight is a recognition of the Weber State football team. I'll turn the time to Vice Chair Nadolski to make that presentation.
Thank you, Chair Heyer. It's good to see so many folks in the chambers tonight, including Coach, the players, Commissioner of the Big Sky Conference, Andrea Williams, Associate Commissioner of Big Sky Conference, Janie Nadolski. And I'm assuming you guys are not here to learn about recycling tonight. Is that true? That's on the agenda if you guys want to stick around. I'm very proud to read this recognition tonight. Being a former Weber State football player myself, I'm really proud of what you guys accomplished. So the Ogden City Council and the Mayor proudly recognize the 2017 Weber State University football team for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. The Weber State University football team had a phenomenal 2017 season. The Wildcats posted a 7-1 Big Sky Conference record and claimed the Big Sky title for the 5th time in Weber State's history. The Wildcats made it to the football championship subdivision and fought their way to the quarterfinals against James Madison University. They achieved a school record of 11 wins, the most of any school in the Big Sky Conference during the 2017 season. 8 of the players earned All-American honors, the most in a season in the school's history. To top it all off, and this is my favorite part, Weber State had its highest ever national ranking, coming in 5th in the country. Head coach Jay Hill, associate head coach Brent Myers, assistant coaches Kite Afiaki, Kelly Bills, Grant Duff, Quentin Ganther, Preston Hadley, Al Papuno, and Colton Swan, and director of football operations Derek Lucan have done an amazing job leading the Wildcats to such a successful season. The team's vision, skill, dedication, and exceptional results have unified our residents and highly strengthened the sense of community pride in Ogden and Weber State University. We present this recognition to you on this 27th day of February, 2018. Coach Hill.
The way we do this is we present him the plaques, and then everybody comes and shakes all of our hands, and then we have a picture. So we're going to go this way. Okay? So.
Holy crap. I need to pull my...
Get up here.
You
better get it out.
Well, you're still on you too, man.
You gotta stand right on top of
Yeah,
me.
so how you doing? Time to toughen up right here. Good job. Thanks for being here. Great job, Coach. Good job. Thanks so much for being here.
Congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
Congratulations.
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 Awesome job.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Like that sweatshirt, that's funny. Yep, awesome job. Thanks. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Thanks so much. Yep, congratulations. Yep, great job. Great season. Great season. Thanks so much. Yep. Thank you. Thanks so much. Great season. Yep. Thanks so much. Great season. Congratulations. Thank you. Great season. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Hey, great season. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Yep. Yep. Awesome job. Thanks so much. Yep. Thanks for being here. Awesome season. Thank you.
Getting crowded here.
It's a lean over.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks for being here.
Congratulations, guys.
Yep. Hey, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here.
I think they're backing up on us.
Good job, guys.
Want me to hold any of those for the picture? Good job, guys. Good job.
Thanks for being here. Yep. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Sweet chat. I like those.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks so much. It was a great season.
Congratulations.
Great season.
And
Thanks for being here.
congratulations.
Thanks for being here.
That's
Thanks
awesome.
for
Look
being
at all
last.
these people.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate that.
Great season.
Yeah, just if you guys would kind of be the tall, the medium, the short.
I'm gonna get up on my stand up on this. Keep up with you guys.
And on average, most of us are pretty similar-ish.
No, hey, I'm on standing on this thing, so I can be the tall.
We should all just like this.
No, I'm standing on the box.
Oh, yeah, the box. That's what I'm doing.
Red box.
Good idea.
Stand on here.
Like,
I know there was one guy. Where'd that one short guy go?
Okay, pay attention to Amina back
oh
there.
yeah, can you get up there, Marcia?
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my tippy toes.
Hey, Weber State.
Great, great.
Wildcats.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we have one of these here.
Yeah, amen.
Okay, see you later. Have a good night.
They're student athletes, you know. They got homework.
They gotta do their homework.
Yeah. We'd like a guarantee. Oh, that would be awesome.
Whatever you want to say. You're losing your audience, though. Yeah. Hey,
Say
guys,
something.
Coach is still going to talk.
That will really run them out. They just heard from me.
We haven't,
I'll
though.
let the disruption go. One thing I can say is just on behalf of our team, we appreciate all you guys have done. The community support has really amped up what we're trying to build at Weber State. And one thing I can tell this committee is when we took over, our home winning record was we had won 2 games out of 10 when we first took over prior to us taking over. And in the last 18 home games, we've won 15 of those last 18. So we're on the right track, and it's been huge to watch the Weber County and Ogden City back us and just get behind what we're doing. And I know that there's joint efforts between Ogden City and Weber State to join forces, and that's been huge for us. So we appreciate all you guys have done. So thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach, we can,
Priya, would you like to say anything? Okay.
Okay.
we can do this again next year, see?
Absolutely. Now we just got to climb the ladder a little bit higher than 5th place, and you can have us back. So we'll do
Good.
it.
Sounds like a goal.
Yep, we will.
Thank you.
Chair, can I jump in on that before he leaves real
Please.
quick?
Yes.
Coach, when we bought the box at Weber State, we didn't get the pleasure of seeing a home game win for, I think, the first 2 years. And we had, I think the seniors had 5 head coaches in 4 years. And your commitment to this program and your commitment to your athletes has made all the difference in the world. They certainly believe in what you're doing. We believe in that too. We can't thank you enough for committing to your kids, Weber State, and this community. And I think that's the biggest difference in this whole deal. So thank you so much for what you're doing up there, for your consistency. I know you've had offers. I know that's the way coaching goes, but your commitment to where you live and the kids you've made promises to means an enormous deal. And we're very proud to represent you and wear purple and be proud of what you've brought to this program. So thank you.
Love it here. Our family loves it here, so thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a request to be on the agenda. We have former council member Jesse Garcia here, representing Circles Weber County. Welcome.
As he said, we're here to present the program of Circles Weber County. This is my supervisor, Joe Obendorfer. We work at Community Action, and it's a program that they asked me to come and do. I came out of retirement to do so. So, is that ready? We have just a small video, and then we'll make a small presentation and do a QA.
Okay, sounds good. I know.
People in our country fall below the poverty line. 14.5 million of those living in poverty are children. Almost 14% of households have had difficulty providing enough food due to lack of money or resources. There are many people in poverty in the United States, hurting, feeling trapped, looking for a way out, but they haven't found it yet. But there is something each of us can do to help them and their families now and for generations to come. Meet Circles USA, a national organization that's been helping people lift themselves out of poverty for more than 20 years. With more than 70 local chapters and counting, the Circles proven model is making a difference in communities across North America. You see, we all have different circles we run in. There are work circles, circles of friends and family, neighborhood circles. When you put these circles together, you get a pretty diverse group of people who have helped us grow by sharing their knowledge, experience, and at times, their strength. But not everyone's circles are as big or as diverse. The circles of people who fall below the poverty line mostly include others dealing with poverty and looking for a way out. At Circles USA, we're people committed to our mission. We're opening the door to help individuals and families find the support and skills they need to break the cycle. They become the circle leader, supported by their allies who are deeply committed volunteers from all income levels who become friends and supporters. Each volunteer shares their insights, strategies, and tools. They give support and encouragement, and together help the circle leader create and follow their unique path to prosperity. Circles USA provides the leader with education, tools, and emotional support they can use to open doors to new opportunities. The leader's circle grows. They get excited about their future. They break the cycle of poverty. To make this happen, we need you to take action. You can volunteer to be a Circles ally to befriend and support circle leaders in your community. Your financial support will help us expand the circles. Your business can involve your employees and hire new ones. Or you can start a new Circles chapter in your community. Please join us. Together we will make the circle grow bigger and stronger. And that will make all the difference.
I want just a really quick intro. As it said, what we're doing is working with people that
Jesse,
are...
will you pull the microphone down? Thank you.
Sorry about that, and I talk soft anyway by training. Anyway, that's basically what the program is. Here in Weber County, we just started a year ago. The intent is to take the people that are from, below the poverty line, and through training, education, mentoring, and everything else, get them up to that 200% above. For example, a family of four, that would be about, in an 18-month period, get them to about $48,000 a year. And again, what we do is work with the entire community. And as I said, you have the different volunteers, allies, resource teams, and things of that nature. And you might ask why we call these people leaders instead of clients. Everyone else calls them clients. The reason we call them leaders is because they're going to lead their way to prosperity, working through their goals, and then become a leader in their community. We're working with them on different things, from how to follow bills, how to track bills, how to work with the legislature, how to work with the city council, and things of that nature on bills or whatever comes that impacts their lives. And so that's kind of, like I said, just really quick of what we're doing. Would appreciate Janine having us here, and all you all for accepting our invitation or giving us your invitation. So it's kind of neat. My supervisor has a few words to say, but before she says some things, we have a training that we do that's called Bridges Out of Poverty. It's very important that other communities have had some of their elected officials on both the city and county side receive that training. It's very important to see what 27% of your population is really living through, and how we can get some programs going or some different exercises to lift the whole community up. So, you have something to say?
I'm not that loud. You might ask, what's special about Circles that's different from all these other poverty programs? This is in a long-term commitment on the part of the Circle leader. They have 12 weeks of initial classes where we help them assess their lives and set goals. After they graduate those 12 weeks, they become that Circle leader. We tie them together with the allies, which are volunteers from all walks of life in the community, as supports. We call them intentional friends. And they can provide different perspective on things than others that are in poverty that they might be talking to. And the clients may be with us for a year, year and a half, 2 years, because we know it's not an easy thing to get out of poverty. So this is a long-term commitment. On the part of the families, when we have meetings, we provide dinner, we provide childcare, and youth activities and teaching youth skills at the same time as we're working with the families. We have multiple aspects. We also have resource teams that we put together made up of, again, various people from the community who are helping us identify and tie the Circle leaders into those resources. And then we have what Jesse was talking about, the big view, which is where the Circle leaders are choosing that project that they want to work on to help make an impact in the community. We just graduated our first group of Circle leaders. We paired them up with their allies 2 weeks ago, so we're excited about that. And we have our first Big View meeting tomorrow night, where we're going to be introducing that concept and helping them walk through choosing a project and making a difference in their community. We're also getting ready to start up a new cohort of Circle leaders, clients, in a couple weeks. So we're looking for outreach. If you know places in the community, maybe we should be talking to different groups or different people to help them become clients. We're looking for allies, because so many of the people that we touch are all in the nonprofit world, and we want people outside of that. So we're looking for those allies, and then of course participation on the resource teams. This is new to Weber County, and it's growing throughout the state. We've had some sister programs that have had a lot of success with this. Usually they say nationwide about a 58% success rate with clients, which with the population we're working with is quite high, I think, because it is a huge commitment on our part. And so we're just looking to make it a success and to help people understand that we're here and what we do.
In closing, I just want to say what we're doing is building the community, and to build that community, we need everyone in that community to build it. So, again, we're just reaching out to you, and I forgot to say thanks, Angela. She came out to our graduation. It was a fantastic time. So I'd invite any of you all. We're doing it on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8. We feed everyone. It's the parents, the children, the allies, everyone. So we have one big partner right now. It's Wendy's, who provides one meal a month to all of our participants. So thank you, and if you all have any questions, or I'll leave some information with you.
Do you guys have questions for them?
Where do you usually meet?
At 3159 Grant Avenue. It's Community Action Building.
How many participants do you have in the program?
We started with 9. We're down to 5. I said, she said some of our people drop out, but the next cohort was want to start with 20 people to get that up. The biggest goal in any community is what you call the tipping point. So, and the tipping point is 40% or 30% of your population, and the way you get there, whatever you impact the first year, along with family, by the next generation, you're impacting like 20 to 30% of your population. So it's just a growing effort.
Any other questions? Very much appreciate what you do for our community. That's
and thank you for what you all do. I've been there, so thanks. I will leave these with Amy, and any questions at all, please. Our numbers are on here.
All right, thank you. Okay, next is also a request to be on the agenda. Jay Louder, Ogden Public Services Director, talking about curbside recycling. We've been riveted by this display. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair Heyer, members of the council, Mayor Caldwell, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight on this riveting report. And I will be giving it to you tonight. In the future, however, I'd like to let you know that it'll probably be given to you by our new Public Service Operation Manager, Vincent Ramos, which has joined us tonight. I'm covering for him tonight. He's a rookie, so we'll give him a break. We'll give him a break this time, and I'm sure he'd do a better job than I will. But nevertheless, I am extremely disappointed that the football team didn't hang around for my presentation. I thought that was a real sure deal, but I guess I think things different. Tonight, I'd like to go over the sustainability of our recycling program for our community as well as the greater Weber County area. Tom Hanson, city manager for Washington Terrace, and I've been working with Washington Terrace, Riverdale, and South Ogden, and he took the leadership in giving a presentation to WACOG. And so I called Tom and asked him if I could have his presentation so that we could keep our message central to everyone that hears it, and so that I can give you what he's presented to WACOG, as well as I took my presentation and made a hybrid out of it, so that we can go through and see what WACOG was presented, as well as how it relates to our community.
And WACOG means?
WACOG is the Weber Area Council of Governments.
Okay, I'm sure some people listening who
And
are
I was
also waiting for this riveting presentation.
I appreciate that. I was going to cover that, but anyway, he presented the fact of the state of the recyclables. Right now, we've seen something we haven't seen in the past. China is the largest buyer for U.S. recyclables. They've been having a lot of troubles with our recyclables because of the cleanliness of the recyclables, and so they threaten to close it down. The reason they threaten to close it down is they're under pressure to clean up their own act. In China, by themselves, they have their own trash. They don't need U.S. trash. And so as we were exporting our recyclables to them, our contamination rates were up to 40%. And that 40% causes a lot of problems when you're talking about recyclables. So in July, China threatened basically that they were going to shut us down, which is a catastrophe for us, seeing how they're our biggest buyers. And so as it went along, they didn't actually shut us down, but they did say, you know, you got to clean up your act. U.S., you got to clean up your act, as well as other people that supply them. And so it was a clear shot across the bow to the U.S. that we have to put things in place to clean up our recycling program. So China is going to be putting new regulations into place. There's things that people think are recyclable that aren't. And we have to get our contamination rates that we're shipping to China down to 3% or under, which is a remarkable contamination rate. And so that's the level we're headed at. And some communities in our area are starting not to take plastics and some of the recyclables and only concentrating on cardboard and paper products. I think that's the wrong move. I think it's time that we take the China lesson and teach our residents how to really recycle purely and do a really good job at it, because as the recycle market is, it's an up and down cycle. It never stays the same. It's just a roller coaster market. It always has been, it always will be. And so if we can train our residents to recycle the correct way, then I think our residents will be far ahead of any program that does away with it now and tries to bring it back later, because the contamination rates, if we do it now, will be less in the future. We have Recycle Earth is taking our waste right now. California they ship it to California. California ships it to China and wherever else it needs to go. All the places are starting to back up with recyclables, even our local vendor.
You said they're starting to what?
Back up.
Back up?
Back up. They're starting to get excess recyclables. We've never seen this like anything in the last 30 years. We have never seen recyclables that are just staying stagnant in our areas that we process. The weird thing about it is corrugated cardboard has always been a high-priced commodity in recyclables. That and water bottles. Those are your two big money makers. And corrugated containers have always, as long as they're clean, have always gotten top dollar. Even before China started to make this market fall, we were still turning about $120 a ton for cardboard, and now it's dropped completely off. The funny thing about it is, while the U.S. North America markets have dropped because of what China's done, China's markets actually have gone up. And their commodity is much higher there because they produce a much cleaner product. So how does that impact the city? The one thing, and Mark always points out I'm king of trash, one thing about garbage is it's strictly economy of scale. The more you have, the more money you can make. Well, that relates to everything that happens in recycling. As the value drops, the costs go up. It's just economy of scale. That means if you're looking at expensive processing, which MRFs, this is a clean MRF. If you have clean MRFs or dirty MRFs, they cost X amount of dollars to run per ton. Your return on investment is based on how much you can run through it in any given one time and how clean a product you can produce at the other end so you can maximize the dollar value of it. The other thing you have is transportation cost. There's cheaper ways of transporting things than most commonly are used. However, the problem is with transportation, that is a fixed cost usually because recycling is always bulky and lightweight, so transportation cost is usually a little more because you can't get as much in a single area. But there's another point to transportation. Remember I said that most nationwide, our recycling is contaminated by about 40%. That's 40% of trash we're paying to transport that should have never been transported. So that takes the margin that they're working with, and it lessens the margin of profit. If we can get that 40% contamination rate out, we're only shipping pure recyclables. That increases the value and it increases the profitability. And our recyclers are on board. They've got the machinery in place. We have, even in our local recycled earth, they're getting some new machinery to come in to help separate the materials to increase the value and decrease the processing fee.
Jay, who pays the shipping, the buyer or the seller?
We paid to get it to California.
Okay.
And then California gets paid to send it to China. So
if we're shipping 40% too much, then
yeah, you're shipping garbage, and you're not getting any return on that.
Right.
And that's the stuff that China doesn't want. China's even going to get, they've said that they're going to actually take these like cargo ships here. I like this picture, but they'll take cargo ships like this, and if they open one of those bay doors and they can smell food waste in it, they'll say the whole thing's contaminated and won't accept any of that cargo on that particular container. So we need to get better at what we're doing. And everyone seems to think what we do at the curb determines what we recycle. It doesn't. It's the people that do the processing that determine what is recycled, because they're the ones that have to make the profit off of it. And they determine that they're going to make the profit off of it based on what the market's doing. And the markets hold, right now the markets are holding plastics and cardboard and paper. Eventually the markets will come back where all plastics will be a value, aluminum's always a value, and then some of the metals, but the market dictates that as it does anything else. So is there still money in recycling? Yes. Like I said, it's a roller coaster thing. It always has been, always will be. But you have to remember there's more things to recycling than what we conventionally think about. Yeah, we think about the commodities and the components that are made or remade from the recycled products. But now they're into a new field of engineered fuel. Engineered fuel is getting to be a big deal. Technology is coming to where they can replace coal with recycled products. Their latest technology in engineered fuel is they can actually replace coal based on the type of coal they're burning, whether it's high sulfur coal or whatever. They can exchange carbon counts with it. They can take mercury out of the air with it. They can take chlorine out of the air with it, with engineered fuel. And people that use it, is we have one closest right now that'll take everything we can produce, is in Croydon, the cement plant up there. Their kiln would take anything we could produce. And that's with us and Davis County. So we do have, and that's profitable because it's replacing coal. And it also would help our emissions and our inversion days. So there is things that people really don't think about as far as recycling that do make other types of money. So there's a lot of mixed messages out there. Even we're sometimes confused of what's recyclable and what's not. But so education's needed, and I think we've laxed as a city, and I hate to say under my watch, we've been complacent, and that we should have been really keeping our folks educated. And I think we really need to step that education up. And we can do it in the schools. We used to do it, and we can go back into the schools. A lot of parents are taught really well by their kids. Very few kids are taught by their parents, especially on recycling and water-wise stuff, but a lot of parents are taught by the kids. And then we can use everything else. We always go after Earth Day and Arbor Day. We have places we can hand out in our lobbies and so forth. We have our At Your Service newsletters that people read, and we have a really good marketing crew now that can really help us get our message out, as well as our website. And we need to let people know right now, number one, number two, plastics are the hot thing, as well as cardboard and paper. Plastic shopping bags have never been good. Are they recyclable? Yes, but not in the recyclable chain. If you take your shopping bags to the shopping store, most shopping stores have a recycle bin for shopping bags. They recycle that plastic only. And if you take those plastic bags and put like the plastic that your paper towels, your toilet paper, and all that come inside, that's the only way to recycle those plastic is put them in with the plastic bags. If you put them in with the regular recyclables, you've contaminated the recyclables, and that's something we have to get across to our public. So you can have a perfectly good group of recyclable number 1 and number 2 plastics. You put them in a shopping bag, you've contaminated that whole cart of recyclables. The other thing is we've gotten kickback in the past for rinsing containers because they say you waste more water rinsing containers. Well, now it's going to be part of recycling like metal containers and the plastic containers. They need to be rinsed out. You can't have any soiled paper products. If you've used a paper plate and it's soiled, you just throw it out. And when in doubt, throw it out. And something I wanted to bring to the council, this is specifically to us, our glass recycling program. We have 4 drop-off sites. They've been losing money. Our contract's up this month, and we've talked to the contractor. They're willing to continue on this venture, but they will make us pay $10 a ton. And with the tonnage that we have consistently had with the program, we're talking about $2,800 to $3,000 for that tonnage. So there might be a time where glass just does not make sense at all, that we'll have to stop it. For the current time, we will continue this program as long as it isn't become a draw on the enterprise fund for refuse.
Is that an annual cost?
That's our total tonnage cost. Yes.
Or will we keep all 4 locations open, or will we look to consolidate those also?
What's that?
Will we keep the 4 locations open, or will we look to consolidate those?
No, we'll keep all 4 locations open. We have to have the tonnage to keep it at the $10 even. You know, it was one thing to try to get it free, which we did, but we can't. We got to keep the tonnage up, or it will go up. Because remember, economy of scale. That's what recycle is. And if you look at this, I just threw this in. This is a Mount Ogden High on the left, and we got all kinds of cardboard at the glass recycling, and we even have a TV. So that's the things we're up against that we have to overcome. Diversion tonnage, carts dumped. As you can see, this we're right around what is it, 58,000. But the tonnage is about 450 tons per month, roughly. So that gives us enough. A dirty MRF needs $1,000, 1,000 tons a month to run. We could supply half of that. Now, here's a thing we did. We went out and we looked with 1 day, 2 routes at when we pull, we look and inspect every one of our carts. And if it's a contaminated cart, we don't pick it up. We have the garbage truck come through and pick it up with the trash. But we still provide the recyclable bin for recycling. If you can see on the left, we have construction debris in with some metal and with some cardboard. And on the right, you have some plastic in with green waste, which is totally not recyclable. We have some great cardboard, and then we have furniture cushions under it. And then you have a vacuum cleaner in with a bunch of recyclables. Well, even if the plastic's recyclable on the vacuum cleaner, it has to be broken down and separated from the metals. You can't just throw the vacuum cleaner in. Even if it is recyclable, all the parts are recyclable, it still has to be broken down or it's a contamination. Clothing has never been recyclable. It may be reusable, but it's not recyclable. And as you can see, we have some cardboard boxes with, again, green waste, which contaminates that. And then we have, on the left, some mulch in our recyclable bin. And then on the right is really something that I want to point out to you is a combination of everything wrapped in bags. So even if it is recyclable, it's contaminated. And if you look really close, you'll see 3 strike tags on that cart, which means these people are not cooperating with our program. Currently, the 3 strike citation is given after 3 violations. And what happens after the 3rd violation, they're given a warning, they're given a sticker that says what's the appropriate things to put in this container. And after they don't do it for 3 times, we pull that cart for a year, and they're not allowed to have it. That currently is not an effective deterrent because we're still having violations. So there's a lot of things we can do. One idea is just after the 3rd cycle, give them a trash can. They've proved that they have the need for additional trash, and then charge them for that trash can instead of giving them the free recyclable bin. But just replace that recyclable bin with a trash can, and then charge them for 2 carts. That's just a possibility. The other thing we've done is we've asked Recycle Earth was willing to do an audit program with us. So we wanted to see, because I like to give the council updates on percentages of recyclables. So we had them audit our loads. And it costs us about $40 a load to audit it. And what they do is we pull it in, they separate it out, and then they divide it all out. And if you can look on the right side as well as the form that they gave us, we did pretty good. Everything's doing pretty good until you get down to, your food contamination recycle or recyclables contaminated with other recyclables was 40%. National average. We're right there at the national average. So our load was 54.5% good and 45.5% bad. We've got to improve that. And that's us watching every container before we pick it up. That's our operators looking inside the can before they pick it up, and then they dump it. That's what we're getting. And here again, here's our weight ticket. This is what they do. They'll put it in a corner all by itself. That's our loads. Then they'll have guys go completely through them and pick them out and sort them out to the different areas of the recyclables. And here's what we found is, you had a child's toy in there that wasn't even recyclable. You have all these bags that contaminated loads. You have recyclables inside those bags that are contaminated, even though they're perfectly good recyclables.
While you're on that, I missed earlier the part. Why are these things contaminated? They're in a plastic bag.
Plastic bags, they can't process the plastic bags. These plastic bags. You see, remember that big green machine that I said was a MRF? This takes them down.
Okay.
It makes a MRF completely shut down, and it takes hours to get these out of the gears. And so you can have these that are perfectly good. These are your money makers.
In the bag.
Usually it's more coordinated than this.
No, we have a handheld form.
No, this is fine. Good, contaminated. That's simple. And our residents don't know that.
I didn't know that, and I'm a very avid recycler. Yeah.
Jay, same thing if the recyclables are in just these garbage bags, right? Not the any bag. Yeah.
I got it, Amy.
The little circle button, just hold it.
This one, you mean?
Yeah, the regular garbage bag, the white one, the big one.
Yeah.
With the
Bottom. It's down at the bottom,
very bottom with the red.
Hefty.
so you can't see it.
Oh, right there.
It-
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about it?
So if the recyclables are in there, same thing. It's the
Same
recyclables
thing,
are-
any bag.
Point in.
But you can take these plastics, your toilet paper, your paper towels, your gloves for doing dishes, all this, you can put in any of these plastic bags, take them into the grocery store where it says recycle bin, and they recycle all those types of plastics.
Just to clarify, just to make sure I hear this correctly.
He doesn't know.
No, I hear the word contaminate and it scares me. So just putting those plastics in the bag doesn't contaminate it, right? It's putting the plastics in the bag and then putting the bag in the recyclable bin that makes it contaminated. Is that correct? I can haul my stuff in a plastic bag.
Correct.
Okay. If it touches a plastic bag, it's not contaminated.
It's not like an allergy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like allergies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure
you
on
can
that.
carry it with your plastic bag.
Now we're
Just
getting, yeah.
turn it upside
Then I turn
down,
it upside
dump it
down
out.
and throw it away. Yeah.
And, and I had a nice lady once, she didn't understand the plastic bags. We were trying to explain to her. But she said she has a shredder at home that she always shreds her paper, and then when she gets shredded, she pours it in a shopping bag, and that's okay. And I says, no. Just pour the shredded paper in your container, and we'll haul it away. He says, but I need it in the paper or the plastic bag. And I says, no, then it's not recyclable. And she says, well, what about if I use a different kind of plastic bag? And I says, no, just dump it in the container. We'll be more than happy to take it away for you. So there's some education that has to take place. And some people are confused, just like you say. But it's most people don't realize when we talk about contamination, it's pretty much a lot of it's clean contamination. We've just had it screwed up with all these plastic bags, and we're finding it with every community, Washington Terrace, Riverdale, South Ogden, they're all the same. It's bags, 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 bags. That's what's destroying our recyclables.
What if they put it in a paper bag? A paper's recyclable.
Put it in a paper
right?
bag, and then when you take it to the cart, dump it out into the cart.
But the paper bag can be in it, though, right?
You can throw the paper bag in after it. It's a separate item all by
As
itself.
long as it's not okay.
Because if they get wet or anything, and then they clump onto each other, you want everything just completely separate. We'll haul it away for you. We'll do everything.
So how do you get to the education process of this, Jay?
What's that?
The education process, it seems like that's probably a valuable tool to determine.
What he's doing now, the whole city's watching.
Yeah.
It is, and this is part of the education, but you're absolutely right. This is part of it. The other part of it is getting back into the schools and using we have a superior media group that we can use to get a word out to a lot of different people, and they're really good. We haven't used them to this point. We will start using them.
Would it pay to put stickers on our recyclables?
We have
did.
stickers. I have a question about
Have them
the
on.
form things are in. We can put aluminum in the bin, right? The cart.
Right.
What if it's not? What if it's a chunk of aluminum, not a can or something like that?
Yep. You can put it in there. Just throw it in the cart.
Okay. What about steel?
Steel you can put in there.
So it doesn't have to be a can. It could
Just
be.
don't put it in a bag.
It could be a chunk of steel. Okay. All right.
You can use like
As long as it's not contaminated.
as long as you don't put it in a bag. You can put any of the metals, even if it's rebar or whatever, just throw it in your cart, and it's fine.
Okay. Good. Good to know.
So anyway, the good news is we're probably ahead of everyone else, or somewhat ahead of everyone else, because we started the recycling programs in the community. We've kept with it. We may have not educated as well as we should have, but we're still ahead of the game. Recycling is cyclic, and so this program will pass with the trouble we're having with the China issue as we clean up our thing. Is remember I said it's all supply and demand. We have plenty of demand from China. China has to have the commodity. They're just demanding that it's a clean commodity. And so we have to get there, and that's part of our cross to bear to get there.
Our goal is to reduce the 40% down.
Absolutely. Because even in our area, it can get up to 52%.
About a pizza box.
So, yeah, how's
A
our
used
stickers
pizza
work?
box, no good.
Stickers worked on the cans. Has that brought it up at all?
It's helped, but it's like putting a lock on a gate. It only keeps honest people honest. I think it's helped some of the residents that were just not quite sure about it. But we have, like I showed you, the one cart, it had 3 violations stuck right 1 week after another on it.
Well,
so.
I Angela was, she confessed, and we all could confess because we've all thrown stuff
Get
in
that
there
on record.
that we thought was good,
confess.
that wasn't, obviously. Pizza box is a prime example. It's got some grease on there, but probably we didn't think about that.
We have an extra officer here tonight to
Yeah.
write tickets for your
So we
confessions.
can just march us all into the hookie.
It was only one
So
time.
I guess my point is what is our strategy to help citizens that, other than just tagging their cart when we see stuff that's wrong?
Well,
in there?
I think we get the word out. We take it serious now. We start getting the word out because we have a vendor. We're under contract with the vendor. The worst that can happen to us is we pay tipping fees for everything that's contaminated.
And how much are those? I don't think people know how much a tipping fee is.
Well, currently it's $36 a ton, and it will be going up a little bit as the county raises costs to cover operations at the transfer station, but we nevertheless will pay any more than a garbage tipping fee. So we have time to train the residents even more than what they are trained. Our residents, again, are doing a better job than a lot. We just need to clean it up even more.
Does it cost to tip recycling?
Does it cost what?
Tipping fee for recycling right now?
We have, for contamination.
Just normal recycling, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, we
Costs
do
us
have a
to-
tipping fee, but if, as long as it's good and quality, we don't pay what you'd pay to dump it as garbage. It varies, it's variable on what the contamination is. But so far, they've been pretty good with us.
I like Jay's statement, when in doubt, throw it out.
Yep.
That worked for me.
Hey, Jay, I can't remember. I know we discussed for a long time about the stickers, and I can't remember, did we put those in Spanish? Do we have stickers in Spanish also?
Yeah, they go out when they go out on the cans, when they're, after the first violation, they go back out and get stuck on both English and Spanish.
Okay.
And they do say exactly what can and cannot go in the can.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if we had them in Spanish also.
Well, yeah.
Jay, there was I don't know who put it out, but it was a flow chart of what you can and cannot put in your recycling. Was that something that came from Washington Terrace maybe, or?
No, if you've seen that, it was probably through the WACOG, and that was Waste Management that had I've seen one of theirs that has a flow chart.
Yeah, maybe it was in the standard, which I thought I actually had to print it off and
We're-
put it right in front of my recycling.
We're going to be having a bunch of material that you'll be seeing as Vince starts working on this whole
article in the
issue
standard.
To educate the public. We've got to have some stuff there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. It's already out there. Matter of fact, I've seen a lot of our stuff that we had posted on our webpage in other communities just changed the looks of it a little bit, but there's no reason to recreate everything when you're trying to get the same message out.
I honestly think, just the clarification about the bag issue is huge. Because even though it says not to recycle the plastic bags, and even in that flow chart, I did not understand that things shouldn't be inside of a bag.
Right.
That's a
Or
huge
even that
clarification.
I've had this fight multiple times with my own wife, that we can't take the shopping bags and put them all in one bag, tie a knot, make them nice and heavy, and then put them in recyclable. You got to take them to
Right, the grocery.
the grocery store to where you recycle. But she said, no, if you put them all in one bag and you tie them in a knot, they're recyclable. And I said, no, they aren't. She said, well, yes, they are.
That explains the black eye you came to work with.
Yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
This little sheet we've got here, what do we do with this?
What?
That is so you can take a look, and if you want to see examples of it, that's why we brought this in, is so that we can, and we're going to make this available in the public service building to where people can come in and actually see the different plastics and what they mean. And the thing is you can't gauge the plastic just by the product. We have motor oils in like number 2 plastic, which normally you see it in like a number 7 plastic. So you just got to look at each container.
Okay, a motor oil, even if it's in a number 2, it's contaminated because it's got oil in the can, right?
Unless you rinse it out.
Well, rinse out that oil. Try that. You'd have to use some kind of a solvent, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what can go in there?
Dawn.
There you go.
They do it on ducks.
Can you use 1, 2, 1s and 2s can go in, right?
Uh-huh.
Can 3s?
Currently, our vendor is wanting to continue to try to recycle all the different plastics, but right now, all that the market is holding is 1 and 2s.
1 and 2.
With corrugated cardboard and clean paper.
And metals.
And metals.
Okay. Okay. Good. Any more questions for Jay?
I think that'd be a nice article for the paper to run.
Yeah, I think Mr. Tim's right here. Maybe he's got a good plan.
You could put it in the people's section.
It'll
for
sell
sure.
a lot of papers.
So-
This is a hot topic.
So 1 and 2s on the right here are fine.
Uh-huh.
Good. 3 through 7, yes or no?
At the time, they're no, but in the future, they will be
Okay.
recyclable.
Okay.
We're not going to stop them. I just talked to our vendor, and they have a concern that they don't want to see that stuff stop coming in. They just don't have a place to put it, and it's building up, like I said. Some of that stuff's building up because they don't have a market. They just have to find the market for it. But like I said, even those are on ups and down markets.
Well, this is good. I think education is a wonderful tool, and if we do a good job, people will fall in line. I think people are motivated to do the right thing.
I think a lot of residents are really trying. I think some of them we just haven't given them enough information.
Yep, I agree. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Next item is the approval of minutes. First is the regular meeting of September 19th, 2017, and the regular meeting of November 21st, 2017. Councilmember Stevens.
Yes, Chair, they're correct.
Then we've got the regular meeting and work session of October 24th, 2017.
Third correct, Chair.
Okay, Councilmember Lopez, thank you. And then we have the Board of Canvas of November 21st, 2017, and the joint work session of November 21st, 2017. Councilmember White.
Yes, Chair Heyer, I gladly reviewed those, and they were correct.
Great. And then we have the regular meeting and the work session of October 17th, 2017. Councilmember Blair.
I can barely remember what I did last week, but after reviewing these minutes, I can promise you they're correct.
Okay. And then the regular meeting of December 5th, 2017, and the joint work session of December 19th, 2017. Vice Chair Nadolski.
Thank you, Chair Heyer. I reviewed those minutes. I can't top Bart's response, but I found them to be accurate.
Well, that wasn't very long ago. So, and then we have the work session of January 16th, 2018. Councilmember Chawarka.
Yes, I have read those, Chair Heyer, and I find them to be accurate.
Okay, I'll look for a motion then.
And I make the motion to approve all of them.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Chawarka, second by Councilmember Blair to approve the minutes. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay.
But no one tells
Next
you.
item on our agenda is the common consent portion. There are 3 items: Ogden Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee reappointments, the Ogden City Competitive Sports Board appointment of Eric Thompson and Scott Yetter, and then the fiscal year 2019 to 2023 capital improvement plan.
Chair Heyer, I make a motion that we approve the common consent items as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Lopez, seconded by Vice Chair Nadolski, to approve the common consent agenda. This is a voice vote.
Can I make a comment before
Yes,
we
ma'am.
go on? Thanks, Chair Heyer. I just want to say one thing that I think I really appreciated, and staff did a great job of another committee of looking at kind of the hot spots, and I really encourage that as we continue to move forward and show us where these committee members actually live in which districts. So I appreciate what you've done in the past, and if we could continue to do that, that would be great.
Good point. Thank you. I think that is something that we're looking to make a practice and not an anomaly. So, okay, we have a motion and a second, and this is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, that passes. We now have public comments. This is an opportunity to address the council regarding concerns or ideas on any topic. Is there any of the public that wishes to address the council now?
We can.
Come on. Love to hear from you. Okay.
Con mucho gusto le podemos ayudar a traducir si necesita, ¿ok? Okay. Just offer
I don't think
to
he wants
translate.
to.
Offer to translate if they.
Okay. All right. Comments from the mayor?
Sure. Jay, we appreciate that presentation you made. He has been, for those of you that don't know, he's been on the Waste Management Advisory Board with the COG for a number of years, and it has not been easy. So we appreciate and want to respect the work that you've done on that. I think educating our community on recycling is an important thing, and appreciate, I won't say your passion, but your education in the area. I know that that's not been easy for you, so we really appreciate that. And then I want to publicly thank all of our department directors and deputy directors for their work during the session. It's completely, it doubles everybody's workload, and everybody's done a great job of covering for each other. We've got not just a little bit more than a week to go, and I think they've done a great job representing everybody, and want to publicly thank them for all covering each other and working so hard during this last, well, what will be 45 days. So thank you all.
All right, thanks. Council members, any comments?
I was going to use the term passionate. I had no idea I was so passionate about the topic, but if that's not the right term, I'll defer to the mayor's comments.
About dedicated.
I'll just say that it doesn't surprise me that you've been willing to roll up your sleeves for this issue. Someone needs to. Couldn't have been a better person. Thanks, Jay.
I have a comment. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew there is a Intermountain Sustainability Summit at Weber State this week, and there's a free performance at the Egyptian tomorrow night at 7 p.m. that's called the Crossroads Project, and it's sort of science and performance and art mixed together. So feeds into kind of this conversation.
Anyone else?
I have a couple of comments. The first one is thank you, Jay. I really appreciate this. This has kind of been, I'm not quite as roll up my sleeves as you've been, but I think one of the things that we have to remember too is starting from not even grabbing the plastic bags, but taking them to, taking our own, or you can actually take those back to the store and use them again. So trying to keep them out of our stream. And now I've completely forgotten the second. Yeah, and out of our trees, and yeah. And I've completely forgotten the second thing I was going to say. Isn't that horrible?
I hope I didn't
It was
scare
about
anybody.
reuse, talking about reusing bags and, I don't remember.
If you think of it,
I'll jump
we'll
in.
chime back in.
Oh, I do, yeah, I remember now. And I wanted to thank the Weber State football team for being here. I was stuck in the Atlanta airport and made my little area that night turn on the TV, and I think we have more Weber State fans that traveled from Atlanta to their hometowns that night because of how well they did and what they did. So it was a fun night for me. If I had to be stuck anywhere, it was fun to watch them on TV. So
I can see that Coach Hill is an asset to that program up there. His players have bought into his philosophy, and I understand and thank him for bringing the standard to a higher level and accomplishments in that program. I think we'll anticipate that we'll be moving forward for the opportunity of that program. And I just want to wish and hope that the basketball team good luck in their tournament coming up. It's too bad we lost 2 games last week, but
We're going to win the next 2. Well, one of them.
Well,
is that your prediction?
I told Mark that I wasn't going to make any more predictions, but I hope that they do well in the tournament that's coming up in the program. So,
Any other comments? Okay, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lopez, second by Councilmember Blair to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's a wrap.